Main study abroad class here is called Life at Altitude. And we go to the Himalayas and we trek there. We meet a group of locals and they guide us through the Himalayas as we trek to various destinations. They vary different years. Sometimes it's Mount Everest Base Camp, sometimes it's a holy mountain in Tibet. And what we look at is how the body adapts to altitude is one. So we do some physiological tests in the lab here. And then while we're there, we monitor everybody's blood oxygen and their symptoms of acute mountain sickness, because everybody's gonna have a little bit of a headache at some point in time at the altitude. And we all huff and puff at altitude because it's harder to exert ourselves because there's less pressure and we absorb less oxygen. So we kind of look at how altitude affects our bodies. The other facet of academic content in Nepal is we live with a group of locals. And so we look at their religion and their healthcare and their education. We kind of just learn a lot about their culture, how they live. Farming at altitude, for instance. People who live at altitude have different diets. How does that affect their lives? So there's two pieces. One is how we adapt to altitude, and the other is how people at altitude live at altitude.